Tre Jones has reportedly emerged as one of the Chicago Bulls' most tradable assets leading into the trade deadline. But should the Bulls bite on any Tre Jones trades? We're talking about it all and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network in the world. That is Pat, the designer, host, and creator of the Windy City Breeze, and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central, Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And today's episode is brought to you guys by, lost my complete train of thought, Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Pat, we've been talking about a lot of trades. We're going team by team. We have been. We're not doing that today because we've got a number of actual updates and still one that's related to trade. So Tre Jones reportedly, this one has come from Mark Stein, reported it initially, and then I think Pippen and Easy also reported it, that Tre Jones is quietly emerging as the Bulls' possible most tradable asset. The combination of the size of his contract as well as having multiple years left on that contract and it being an easy contract to match the salary on has teams interested that need point guard help. A team that was mentioned is the Minnesota Timberwolves, that though they were mentioned with the Kobe White thing, they could pivot to a more easily obtainable asset like a Tre Jones where they can keep most of their important pieces. That's just one of the teams that was named in there. What do you think about Tre becoming one of the Bulls' most tradable assets?
Listen, it's not surprising. I mean, when you talk about a guy who assist to turnover is always below 15%. I mean, like when you talk about a guy who consistently is able to put guys in position to be good. And we've seen Tre probably get involved more offensively than we've ever seen him be involved offensively in his career. I think it speaks to a player that a lot of teams look at and say, yo, like, for a guy coming off of the bench for a good budget, why not? And listen, I know we love Tre Jones. There's excitement with all of these pieces, right? Yeah. But you got to start getting value. And I think there could be, if there is, a couple of teams that are looking into this, there could be some tremendous value for Tre Jones, more value than he's ever going to provide here for a team that probably isn't going to get off of the ground anytime soon here. So you need to get as much value as you can. With that being said, don't get rid of him for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, this is if you're moving on from Tre Jones at any point, it's a draft pick trade, right? Like you're essentially what you saw with that Memphis was trying to give you last season. Like, hey, we just need a point.
That's don't turn down any more. Like the Andre Drummond for 2 second-round picks, Alonzo Ball for a first-round pick that became Cedric Howard.
Yes,
don't turn down any more. And I love where you're going. I'm sorry, I'm going to let you get back to. I'm going to let you continue, but wait. To quote, the thing is, and I already see people in comments. If we've gotten to the point where if as fans you think Tre Jones is untradeable, that shows you that we're in a very dark place as a franchise.
You gotten to the point where you feel like you can't find Tre Jones again.
Like, don't get me wrong. I love Tre. I love what he's brought to this team. I think defensively to start off the season, he was so important to the success that we had to start off the season. But let's be clear. When we traded for Tre Jones, nobody thought that way of him. Like, Tre Jones is the type of player that, depending on how he impacts your team and your system, he's going to have a huge impact. He's not the type of piece that we need to be like, oh, my God, we can't let go of Tre Jones. You just can't. It'd be different if we were winning. If we were a top 5 team in the East, hold on to Tre Jones all day long. But look at where we are. No, he's not untradeable. But go ahead, Pat. I'm sorry.
I like this comment. If we can get future prospect, I'm fine with it. I don't like the grammar on the comment. But Tre is a great piece for a winning team. Not us, at least not right now. That's facts.
Yeah.
Tre Jones is a great piece for a team that's actually going to be able to go out there and win some games.
Exactly.
You can't beat the Pelicans. You can't beat Charlotte, and Charlotte's begging to lose.
We did beat them once, Pat.
You also lost to them once.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be losing to Charlotte is my point. Like, I think that's the conversation where this is at this point for me. I look at it and say, listen, you've got a team that should be better than what it is. It isn't. For that reason, you need to go out and add as many assets as you can, because you need to be looking at every avenue that you can try to find a superstar piece. You want to know why the Dallas Mavericks are okay moving on from a bunch of these pieces, the teams look around it and go, oh, we feel like that's a piece that could put us over the top, because they got freaking 18-year-old Cooper Flagg putting up 42 points on efficient shooting in a game. You need to find that piece, whoever that piece may be. Or if you feel like you have that piece on this team and you just need to put the keys in the hands of maybe a Josh Giddey or something like that, then you need to find pieces to build around him.
Yeah.
So to me, this is very similar to what you said. And I think it also offers the leverage, dog. Like, you saw what a team was willing to offer for Lonzo Ball, and he ain't got no knee.
And he's playing bad for that Cavs team, too. Like, he started off playing really good.
It finally fell off. It was looking good for a minute.
It was looking real good for a minute, bro. The first, 10, 12 games for them, he was playing really, really well. And then it was like his knees was like, yep, that's it. That's all we got. We're done.
I don't know. To me, you've got a precedent to say, hey, we got to offer this for Lonzo. Tre's alive. Would you rather have this for Tre? And it opens the world up to you. Like, first round picks aren't easy to come by, especially in this draft.
Yeah.
If
you could offer the first for Tre, I don't necessarily expect, unless it's like lottery protected, like going to guarantee not to be in the lottery, maybe. But the team has to be desperate for a point guard. And Minnesota could get to that place. Like, I get it that we've heard Minnesota, wants to move, like Dante DiVincenzo and Rob Dillingham are the pieces that they're willing to kind of move to look for a point guard. But if that team keeps winning and Dante's rolling, and they're like, well, maybe we can find a long-term starter in the future. Let's get somebody who can come in and help what we do now. They could pivot to trade. Maybe you can get a protected first or something like that out of it. But I think, like I said, I love Tre. No knock on Tre. And I hate it when people hear that you say a player's tradable and they're like, but so you're saying he sucks? No, I'm saying he's good and he has value. And unfortunately, we're not at the place as a franchise to where we're extracting value out of that. Like, I'm sorry, if we start winning soon, let's say we go on a 5-game winning streak or something, maybe if we turn this thing around between now and the trade deadline. But the way that things are looking like they're going to keep going, I love Tre. But the pick is more valuable for the future of this team than what Tre Jones is giving us now. And it's not because of the fault of Tre. This team sucks.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. Like, honestly, I'm to a point with this where I know. I saw it. I tried to move past it. Shout out to Shay. I'm to a point where it's like, even if the deal is on the table, I don't feel like you're going to see this Muppet front office make the move, bro. Like, I don't see it, bro. Like, look, come on, bro. He's making a move, bro. You think Mark Eversley is making a call, bro? Come on.
Why do you know exactly who that is, even though it's a Muppet, bro? Like, there's not much difference. Not much has changed,
bro. Like, it's so it's so terrible that I feel like, hey, there are deals available. This deal could be made. It could be beneficial to the team. It probably is the right move to make for the long run. But somehow you gonna Kermit the Frog this thing and off the stage and get nothing done. Like, it's so sad where this team is at this point, bro. Like, at bottom line, I would move Tre. Will the Bulls? No.
Yeah, and maybe even Tre could be I failed to mention the Rockets specifically because reportedly, they're kind of happy with where their playmaking is gone, but like that could be a player that they can, like the $8 million. It's a combination of the fact it's only $8 million contract. It's flat. It does not increase. It's 2 years left on the deal, and the last year after the season is a team option. That's a amazing value for a team to try to acquire that at the trade deadline via what we've seen Tre be able to perform on the basketball court. So if the Bulls are able to get a first out of that, you gotta trade him. Period. You gotta trade him.
We'll see what they end up doing, dog. I mean, at this point, I have about as much faith in AK as Shay has in standing up. So.
All right. With that said, let us know down below how you guys feel, whether you're watching this live or watching this after the fact in regards to Tre Jones, reportedly being one of the Chicago Bulls' most, if not the most tradable asset at the trade deadline. We're gonna get into more after this. We're gonna talk about Ayo Dosunmu and him having dual injured thumbs. What was he doing right after this?
Wait a minute, hold on. I wasn't ready for that one.
No banners. It's Skims. When Skims announced that they were making underwear for men, the reaction made perfect sense. People have been talking about Skims comfort for years. Most guys, though, stick to whatever they've been buying since college. The same fits, the same waistbands, the same roll, and a whole lot of settling. Skims man's changed that. One upgrade, and it's obvious why everyone's been talking. But once I tried Skims underwear, I got hype immediately. They redesigned to feel good, fit right, and actually stay put. No slipping, no sagging, no adjusting, just genuinely great underwear that makes you feel comfortable and confident. They don't ride up, they don't lose their shape, and they hit exactly where they're supposed to on the thigh. Whether you're working, traveling, working out, or just hanging out at home, these feel better than anything you have used before. I honestly didn't expect underwear to be a game changer, but Skims completely surprised me. Shop Skims Men's now at skims.com. And when you place your order, choose podcasts in the post-purchase survey and select our show from the drop-down to let them know we sent you. Plus, the Skims holiday shop is open, so if you're looking for the perfect gifts this season, Skims has got you covered. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. I mean, it's a legitimate question. So, Ayo Dosunmu came out, Pat, yesterday and said that he had two thumbs that were injured. He dislocated both thumbs. My question is, hey, is she okay? Is she okay? You dislocated both thumbs? But nonetheless, positive update, though. Ayo did say he is going to try to get on the court tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Things have healed up. He said at some point, it just becomes a pain tolerance thing. How do you feel about the injury update to Ayo Dosunmu?
I mean, Jesus. I'm glad that he's going to be back on the court. I mean, dislocating both thumbs, brother, that is some wild work there. I mean, you really got to be going after it, don't you? Like, it's
even a bone bruise on the right thumb.
Hey, bro, like, yeah, you putting some work in, my guy. That's like when who was it that was it Braxton Jones? Who was it? Or Tevin Jenkins pulled both hamstrings.
Yeah.
I mean, how you pull both hamstrings at once? You're doing a little too much. No, man. Listen, I'm glad that Ayo is back on the court. We know what he means to this Bulls team. He seems to be the one voice of honesty in that locker room. You know what I mean? Like Ayo is kind of just echoing the sentiment. You know what it feels like? I'm not gonna lie to you. It feels like Ayo's the one dude that actually thinks Billy's got the right ideas, and so like you hear him say a lot of the stuff Billy says, and you're just like, I guess it makes sense. Like,
well,
but it definitely.
You know what that reminds me of? He keep in mind, Ayo, that's the only NBA coach that Ayo's played under.
Yeah. But I mean, it's also, I mean, it's the only good NBA coach that most of those guys that are holdovers played under. I mean, like, is Billy or Hoiberg? Or not Hoiberg, Billy or Boylan.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody's looking at it being like, I missed those Boylan days.
Yeah. I mean, the only person who's still around from Boylan days is Kobe. That's it. Everybody else is gone.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
but
I mean,
I don't know. Like I think that there's you can tell that Ayo is kind of the voice in the locker room that is letting everybody know this ain't good enough. Him and Vooch, really. And both of them are, I guess, being ignored when you see what's happening on the court. So maybe it said, bring that Chicago out, Ayo. Maybe it sets him off and he's ready to slap somebody.
I mean, that would be crazy.
That would be hilarious, bro. Could you imagine Ayo Dosunmu just snapping off on the bench and like trying to fight? Who would it be? Modest?
Bro, listen, if Ayo Dosunmu try to fight somebody, all you got to do is just go like this to his lips because his mouth's always open. Like, it cuts the tension. You can't fight somebody after your lips make that sound. Like, you can't.
Which yet again brings in the question, what was he doing with those thumbs?
Hey, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Spraining both thumbs at the same time, bro, that's a natural question to ask. Is what were you doing?
That man playing Guangdong.
Bro, like I said, is she okay? Is the only response that I have to that. But Ayo is somebody that does echo, like, it reminds me of the relationship between Skiles and Kirk, right? Like Kirk Heinrich. Like Kirk was that was his first coach, and he very much so understood that system. But then he eventually adapted to Tibbs as well. Like, but Ayo is the voice that we know in the locker room. We heard it in the offseason, right? Like, he's one of the leaders in that locker room. And it just goes to show, like, at this point, Ayo Dosunmu was a veteran, Pat. Like, he's been in the league, what, 4 or 5 years at this point? Yeah. He's a vet. So,
no, 100%.
You know, and it matters. Having him out there or not, it does matter. And so hopefully we, you know, he comes back, he's able to continue his season, because while at the beginning of this year, I said, and the Bulls still have the cap space to bring both those guys back. Pat, at this point, I don't see both Kobe and Ayo coming back. So I do think between now and the trade deadline, I think you are going to see which one of the players the Bulls are planning on bringing back. Personally,
by the way, quiet as this cap, Ayo's having a ridiculous season.
He's having an amazing season.
Like, he's shooting almost 50% from three.
Yeah, that's
kind of crazy, bro. Like, Ayo Dosunmu is shooting an elite 3-point percentage. He's finishing well around the rim. Write your own joke there with the thumbs. Like, I just like, if I had to keep, I keep saying this, if you had to keep one of the two, I would rather see Ayo on this team, because I think that Ayo brings more versatility than a guy like Kobe White.
Absolutely. It's the two-way play that separates them. And I mean, if you're looking at changing, like, if the Bulls are, you know, like, again, if the Bulls can keep both of them, Bulls keep both of them. If that's what they want to do, they can. This isn't to necessarily play them against each other, but you have to understand that, like, if they do keep Ayo, it's probably going to be for defense. It's going to be the versatility. It's going to be the fit next to Josh Giddey, and he's flexible in the sense of what you can go out there and get. Like, if you keep Kobe, you have to have a defensive focused player next to Kobe White at the three. If they end up keeping Ayo and say, all right, Ayo, you showed us enough this season, you're our starting two going into next year, or next to Josh Giddey, you can get a two-way player. You can get more of a three, you know, a player to stretch the floor, more focused next to Ayo Dosunmu. So it adds that versatility, especially with the way Ayo's playing this year, because the three-point shot has been a crazy weapon for Ayo. He's gotten better in three every year, though. He's steadily been progressing as a three-point shooter.
Is Ayo, quiet as it's kept, the guy that needs to be given the opportunities that we wanted to talk about given Modest?
No, because I think that their play styles are different enough. I do think that, like, personally at this point, and this is no knock to Okoro technically, but I would be starting once Ayo's fully healthy. Maybe look at it after the turn of the calendar. So maybe
Okoro needs to be coming
first. I would start Ayo with Kobe, with Josh Giddey, and I'd take a look, especially if you do need to decide, hey, who we're gonna trade between these two guys. We're only gonna keep one of them. I'd start Ayo, give him an opportunity in that starting lineup, because I think he's a better two-way player.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm looking at Ayo's game, like, and what we've seen, I feel like we're always like, man, look at the production for what he does. And we never look at him in the sense of, like, hey, could this be somebody who's actually balling? But, like, and listen, I'm not a per 36 guy, but I do think the play style with a per 36 that Ayo has shown, Ayo's per 36 right now, coming in at almost 20 points a game. The efficiency staying about 47% from the 3-point line. Like, I feel like if you gave Ayo more opportunity, he probably could do a lot more. Oh, by the way, usually when he does, it's turning defense into offense, which is what you need this team to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. Like, it gets in the passing lanes. We talked about even that, the leadership aspect. Somebody has to be boisterous on that court. Ayo is going to be that and he's been that basically since a rookie. I remember when he, you know, it was calming DeMar down from getting texts as a rookie. So
DeMar was getting so many texts.
Yeah. So you know, there's a lot of aspects if you want to have a honest conversation about it. Again, I'm not saying that you have to choose between Kobe and Ayo, but I think that realistically, you can't, a team that looks like they're going to win 30 games, you can't bring everybody back at that.
Yeah.
AK will look at that and say, yes, I can. But if we're talking logically, you would think that in a period where you have time to move, you have a natural place where you can move on from a bunch of those guys. You don't bring back 90% of a roster that won 30 games. You just don't do that.
Yes, you do, Haize. Have you not been here? We bring back 100% of a roster that won 30 games, and then we add a lottery pick that will not pan out.
Or that won't play.
That is how we play Bulls basketball.
There you go. Very accurate.
What was I have one more point I was going. Oh, if the Bulls were to be interested in the was it Minnesota trade where for Kobe White, where, you know, maybe you get back TSJ and somebody a part of that. It'd be interesting because now you're replacing your bench point guard with bringing back a young guy in TSJ who we know can get a bucket, and possibly adding some depth there at big man position. I'd be intrigued. We'll see what ends up happening. But hey man, we're gonna keep this thing moving along. Gotta talk about the Bulls getting the DPE for Noah Essengay, who I just saw a video of him walking in. He don't look like he's gonna be playing for a while. We'll talk about all that and more coming up next. But first, we got to tell you guys all about Game Time. The World Cup is coming back to North America for the first time since 1994. I was born that year. Haize was on his third child already. And with 48,
don't throw me under the bus like that.
And with 48 teams for the first time ever, it's going to be massive. But let's be honest, getting tickets is usually the hardest part. That's why Game Time is absolutely clutch, finally giving fans a real advantage when it comes to snagging seats. All you got to do, pull up the app. The layout makes it so simple to scroll through matchups and compare seat views, pick a game, tap a section, and have your tickets locked in within minutes. No confusing, no hunting for the fine print. And the seat view is a game changer. You literally see what the pitch looks like from your exact seat before you buy. Take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets and every match, concert, or event with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms and conditions do apply. Again, download the app, make an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Game Time. That's all it is. Nothing else on Game Time, just Game Time at the end. We also got to tell you guys all about Robinhood. Nobody knows your money goes better than you. Robinhood puts you in control of your money with tools that work as hard as you do, locking in every opening, beating your PR, beating it again, channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money, trade stocks and EFTs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood Legends advanced tools, or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/your money. Again, that's Robinhood.com/your money. Your money, your move. See, that's how you end an ad read. More Locked On Bulls coming up.
You didn't have to end the ad read on interchangeable dislocated thumbs. That's still crazy.
Well, listen, that's whatever you're into, man. Whatever makes your lady happy, or significant other. I don't know what it. I don't.
Have you been thumbed?
Have you been thumbing these?
All right, Pat, before we get up out of here, the Bulls have been granted a designated player, disabled player exception for Noah Essengay due to him missing the rest of the season. This gives the Bulls about a $2.4-ish million exception that they can use to acquire a player via trade or sign a player to that. The thing that this does, the Bulls already had $20 million in trade exceptions, but the thing that this does do, it does create an open roster spot for the Chicago Bulls, Pat, which could get interesting around trade deadline time and things like that. A, do you think the Bulls are likely to use this exception or at all? And then B, if they do use it, is there any players that you see that they could target out there?
When's the last time we used an exception?
I mean, mid-level exception we use all the time. As far as like one of the trade exceptions or stuff like that, we've let every one of them expire. Every one of them expire.
I feel like we wasted our mid-level exception the last couple of years.
We re-signed Tre Jones with part of the mid-level
exception. Oh, that's true. We used part of the mid-level for Tre Jones. That's true. Okay. Yeah, I don't think they use it. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, listen, I don't know what AK's plan is. I know it's usually to compete. I think that ship has sailed this season. So why would you add a player unless, okay, no, because it can only be used in trade, right?
No, it could be the disabled player exception can be used to sign or to sign a player that's a free agent.
So the only thing that maybe they use it for, and AK is usually pretty good about this, is to pay one of their players that they want to bring up to a full-time contract.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Like a Lachlan Albrick.
They could bring Lachlan Albrick.
Yeah,
they could bring Lachlan Albrick up.
They may use it for that, just to be like, yo, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate the work you put in. We're going to break bread with you. Like, I could see them doing that.
Okay. I can see that.
They're not going to use it to add anything to the team. 100% they won't. I guarantee that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with that is that Lachlan has only played 2 NBA games. You can play up to 60-ish games at this point. They can just play him. They can call him up and just let him stay with the roster and just do that. Like, it's not the best use of assets, but it is taking care of one of their guys.
Yeah.
And that is something that AK has done before. The way that I look at it is this, not even looking at the disabled player exception part of it. It does create an open roster spot. So now I'm looking at it and saying, whereas before the Bulls always had to be 1-on-1 on trades, now maybe they don't have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it does open you up for that, right? Where maybe you could take back another player who you just, you want to see something from. I don't think there's going to be any massive additions here, though, right? Like, if you want to go a 2-for-1, I think that opens up that conversation. Probably what you're getting back for Vooch, if you were to trade him, is expiring money anyway. You're not getting anything back serious in that situation. So maybe it works for you in that favor. But outside of that, and I went to look at the Windy City Bulls because I was like, is there anybody down here who he may like, who's been here a long time? But we kind of got rid of all our long-term pieces on this team.
Yeah, for the most part.
We got Wooga Poplar. And that's about it. Yeah, so I can see him using it for Lachlan. I don't see him using it to bring somebody extra back, but I mean,
it's not like the Bulls haven't signed. You know what I just thought about, Pat?
Yeah.
Who's a point guard that's out there that's played for Billy Donovan before?
Who's out there?
Who's about to get cut by their team. They sent him home.
Oh, Chris. Yeah, okay.
I could see them doing that for Chris Paul and bringing in leadership.
I wouldn't hate that.
I can completely see them do. Now, the Clippers haven't officially waived, cut, or released Chris Paul yet. Everybody's expecting him to come. I think they are kind of surveying if any team's interested in trading him, but I think most people are expecting him to get bought out. I can especially if the Bulls do make a trade. Like, if they trade Tre Jones to like Minnesota or something, best believe one of the next moves is going to be signing Chris Paul.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know if you saw this report that came out from Ramona Shelburne like an hour and a half ago, whatever it was.
You know what I was doing an hour ago, Pat? I was fighting for my life with kids.
It's true. Basically, it was like Chris Paul showed up there and he was trying to like do like team camaraderie type stuff, invited them to a bunch of stuff, invited them to a workout, invited them to a Halloween party, invited them to a suite at a Rams game, and none of the Clippers showed up. Mm-hmm. Hey, it's F y'all too. Like, I'm talking crazy. I don't like Chris Paul. Like, I have made this very clear. I think he is a under the radar douchebag. Because like
on the radar, I think people now do realize.
I think now people are realizing it's on the radar because like people are speaking up about it. But I think for years, like everybody was like, "Oh, look at him, he's got hazel eyes." Okay, shut up, Chris Paul. Like, nah, you do all that. Like I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to invite you to stuff. I'm trying to take y'all out. I'm trying to, and don't nobody show up. Nah, I'm talking crazy. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll be like, you ain't never been a good player. I don't even know why you still on the team. Like I'm talking mad crazy. I kind of get Chris Paul in that. But either way, Chris Paul to the Bulls, Kobe White, I love him.
Oh, yeah, the Kobe White connection too. Connection to Kobe White, connection to Billy Donovan. I can see it happening. But other than that, I don't
And
know.
then they'll trade Kobe White and Chris Paul and just start MFing everybody on the team.
You stupid. All right, get us up out of here, Pat.
Follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Watch your thumbs.
You guys can follow me. You guys can follow me at CEO Haize. Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV, Roku TV, and Fubo TV. Basically, anywhere you want us, you can get it. We'll catch you guys tonight after the game, y'all.
Peace. Just thinking about, like, Ayo's hands are massive. Like, how big is that thumb?
Oh. That's why I said, is she okay?
I don't think so.
When I came down.